is one of the Brothers Grimm soldiers' stories, and it follows the pattern of quite a lot of the soldiers' stories. But I think it also has half-forgotten memories of something much older, because there's also a suggestion of shape-shifting in here. It's a story about a soldier who's given the name of Bearskin. The relationship between soldiers and bears, and the whole thing about wearing bear skin, goes back a very, very long way. So let me know what you make of this, and write something in the comments, because I'd love to know what you make of this one. There was once a young soldier who was very brave and always in the thick of the fighting. But he was cunning and clever, and presumably a very good shot. He survived the war. So at the end of the war, he was left with nothing but his gun and his own cunning. So cold, hungry, and with no money, he asked his brothers for help, but they said, "What can you do that's of any help to us? You're not going to be of any use on a farm, are you?" So the soldier wandered his weary way, and his feet took him to a heath. Strange things happen on heaths, you know. And there, in the middle of a circle of trees, a man appeared to him, wearing a green jacket. And the soldier, who was wily, knew at once who the stranger was. But he listened to what old Nick had to say. "I can give you money. I can help you for the next 7 years. But you are to wander. You are not to settle anywhere. If you die within those 7 years, your soul will be mine. If you survive those 7 years, at the end of it, you will be free." The soldier was hungry, so he had little choice but to agree to what old Nick said, which was that during those 7 years, you will not comb your hair, you will not brush your hair, you will not cut your hair, you will not trim your beard, you will not shave, you will not wash, you will not cut your nails. I need to know how brave you are. So the soldier heard a growling behind him. He turned quickly, and there was a bear coming towards him, as quick as a wink. The soldier took out his gun and killed the bear. I kind of feel a bit sorry for the bear at this point, but moving swiftly on. The devil took a knife, skinned the bear, and gave the fur to the soldier, and said, "Your new name is Bearskin. You will wear this cloak. You will sleep in this as your bed. You will wear no other." And the devil took off his green jacket and gave it to the man whose name was now Bearskin, and said, "Whenever you reach your hand into the pocket, you will find money." So the soldier put on the green jacket, pulled the bearskin around himself. When he turned around, the stranger had gone. So Bearskin set off, and for a long time he wandered the world. But with each year that passed, he became dirtier His hair became more matted. His beard became longer and almost like felt. He became dirtier. His nails became longer. But whenever he reached into the pocket of the green jacket, there was money. He gave money to the poor to pray for him, hoping that this would help. He paid well for his lodgings. But there came a time when he went to an inn, and the innkeeper looked at him and wouldn't even let him sleep in the stable until he produced a handful of gold. And then the innkeeper let him stay in the inn in a room at the back, on the understanding that he would not come downstairs, that he would not show himself to anyone else. So Bearskin, the soldier, sat on his bed, wishing that the 7 years were over, and that he could wash and shave and wear something other than the bearskin. He heard a groaning coming from the next room. So he went to investigate and found there a man who said, "Tomorrow they will come and take me to prison. I have no money left. I have no money to pay the innkeeper. I cannot clear my debts." And Bearskin said, "Is that all?" So he gave the innkeeper enough money to clear the man's debts and gave the man a small bag of gold. And the man was so grateful and so relieved to find a way out of his predicament. He said to Bearskin, "Come to my home, come to my house, meet my daughters. I have 3 daughters, and they're all beautiful. I'm sure you would like to marry one of them." So Bearskin went to the man's house. And when the oldest daughter saw him, she simply ran away in fright. When the middle daughter saw him, she puckered her nose and looked at him and scowled. But the youngest daughter thought he must be a kind person with a good heart, for he had been so generous to their destitute father and had stopped him from going to prison. So it was agreed that Bearskin would become betrothed to the youngest daughter. So he took a ring and broke it in half and wrote his name on one half and the youngest daughter's name on the other half. And he gave her the half with his name and kept the half with her name for himself. And they agreed that when the 7 years came to an end, they would indeed marry. So Bearskin left and carried on wandering the world, giving money to the poor, asking that they would pray for him, helping people wherever he could, and living his lonely life as his hair grew more dishevelled, his skin grew dirtier, his nails grew longer, and he became more and more sad. But when the 7 years finally came to an end, Bearskin, the soldier, went back to the heath where he had first met old Nick, he'd first met the devil, and he waited in the circle of trees. And of course, old Nick appeared, fetched a bowl of hot water, and washed Bearskin, and combed his hair, and cut his hair, trimmed his beard, shaved his beard, cut his nails, so that finally he looked more handsome than he ever had in his life. Bearskin had saved some of the money, so he returned the green jacket and the bearskin to old Nick and set off to find the house of his betrothed. And when he arrived there, in a fine carriage drawn by white horses, he was a very wealthy man by now. The daughters welcomed him in, not realizing who he was. The two oldest daughters, of course, competed for his attention. And when the handsome young man said he would like to marry one of them, they went to their own chambers and changed into the most beautiful gowns. And while they were gone, the soldier, who was no longer called Bearskin, took from his pocket the half of the ring with his betrothed's name written on it and gave it to her. And she looked at it and recognized it immediately and took from around her neck the other half of the ring that she had always worn on a ribbon, never doubting that he would return to her. And as the two halves of the ring came together perfectly, two hearts came together and began to beat as one. So by the time the two elder sisters came down the stairs and returned to the room, they found that their younger sister was sitting holding the hands of the handsome young man. And they were so angry that they had missed the opportunity to marry a wealthy man that the two of them stormed out of the house, and in their anger they fell into the river, and they were pulled down by the weight of their their best dresses, and they were both drowned. So that evening, as the soldier and his bride-to-be sat together, there was a knock at the door, and a familiar man appeared in the doorway and said to the soldier, "Just like you to know, I gained 2 souls instead of your 1. But I can only hope that the soldier and his betrothed really were in love and really did live." Come on, this is your line, you do this one. And really did live happily, come on, ever after, as indeed I hope shall all of you. Let me know what you think of that. Shape shifting into a bear. And I hope to see you again soon. Please do subscribe to my channel.